What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, East to West Reviews. So today we're going to get into Bad Batch episode 4, and this week's episode was awesome. There was so much going on in terms of action and dialogue. So we pick up where the crew is still trying to find somewhere to land. They end up coming across the planet Pantora, and we sort of see the crew's desperate situation taking a new level. We see that they have a lack of rations, supplies, and they need to refuel. And something that kind of points out to me is these guys are used to being a part of a large military operation. So they're used to being able to go to any sort of station or planet, finding a military outpost, and they can basically get everything that they want taken care of right then and there. So being used to that, I think that they're still trying to find ways to transition to being civilians instead of just soldiers all the time, because clearly they are not fit out for any of this as it's shown in this episode. We see that they've gotten taken advantage of multiple times. With the person who's trying to watch their ship, he rips them off as trying to quiet himself from telling on them, and Tech ends up giving him probably a lot more than he should have had in terms of credits. We also see that when Hunter and Echo try and go find supplies, they end up selling off Echo for probably much less than he probably could have gotten for an advanced looking droid, I guess you could say. These are all really alarming situations for anyone to be in, especially in the Star Wars galaxy. But for them, the situation really couldn't have gotten any worse. On top of having a lack of fuel and supplies, they end up coming across a bounty hunter that you really don't want to come across, and that's Fennec. Fennec as an ex-gun for hire under the Empire and Mandalorian. At least she was, because when we found her, she was on the run. But we also know her as being the new right hand of Boba Fett as well. So in this episode, we see a young Fennec Shand who's probably still in her early days as a bounty hunter, but she definitely has a lot of skill, as we can see. But with a bunch of epic fight scenes between her and Hunter, she had that moment with Wrecker. I really wish she could have done something a little more. They didn't have to do my guy like that. They really didn't. But Fennec, she definitely fended him off, and she was able to almost able to take Omega away from them for sure. We also get that epic chase scene between Hunter and Fennec with their vehicles going through the sky. It really reminded me of Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, the beginning chase scene with Obi-Wan and Anakin going after the bounty hunter in that one. And we see Hunter tries everything to try and get rid of her, and he immediately recognizes as a threat that needs to be taken off the board because being chased by her and the Empire is really something that they can't afford to have because it only puts Omega in more danger than she needs to be. And we end the episode with Hunter saying that as well. He tells the crew, we have to find out who this is, because he can't allow her to just sit around and find them wherever they go. She's a capable bounty hunter, so it's only a matter of time, he knows, before she catches up to them, and he can't afford to get caught off guard like that. So after successfully escaping Fennec alive, the crew is able to make their way back to the ship so they can get off the planet. They were able to buy themselves some time, but we all know that Fennec is definitely going to find them again at some point. And we kind of get the confirmation at the end when she sends her transmission through her comms saying that she will catch up to them. And I believe every word that she's saying there. So to get into my predictions for the future of this show, I really think that Fennec is working for the Empire. She was probably speaking to her Empire handler through the comms link. Maybe Tarkin, maybe someone under Tarkin, or it could be someone completely unknown, like a third party. But I'm not sure what any underground brokers or anyone would want with Omega at this point in time, unless we could get Darth Maul in this show. But I don't have any evidence for that yet, so I'm not going to jump into that sort of speculation. But I also think somebody who might want Omega back are the Kaminoans, because we know that they're looking for someone with Jango Fett's DNA to be their new host for a batch of clones. And Omega seemed really important to them, so who else could they want to go after? And to keep it under the radar of the Empire, there's no one better than to send a bounty hunter, especially someone like Fennec, who's not cheap to hire for this sort of thing. Speaking of Tarkin, I think we're going to go back to him and his crew in the next episode. I really want to see more of what's going on with them and Crosshair and this new squad. So I think that's definitely going to be the focus going forward. Another thing I think that's going to happen next episode is the crew's still needs to find supplies, of course. They managed to get some stuff, maybe a little bit of fuel, but I don't think they're in a state where they can just keep going idly by. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get put into a situation, maybe they come across some pirates in space or anyone who they can fight off, and they can justly take their rations and supplies from them. That wouldn't be out of character for something in Star Wars. I believe we've seen a lot of things like this in Clone Wars itself. Also, I think we're going to see more of who's coming after the crew and Omega besides the Empire. Possibly we'll see more bounty hunters, because we know if one goes after, it's not long until another set of bounty hunters goes after a group. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some very popular names. Maybe a young Boba Fett could show up. He's still young in the galaxy, trying to make a name for himself in this scene. And eventually he does make it to becoming one of the top bounty hunters for the Empire. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to make a name for himself, possibly in this show somehow. Overall, I thought this was a great episode. There's so many cool moments, fight scenes, chase scenes. I kind of enjoyed seeing Omega's childlike side coming out, thinking Fennec's not someone who's dangerous, that she was taking care of her. She's still learning a lot about the galaxy, and she's going to continue to learn things the hard way. But as long as she's got the crew by her side, I think she'll be okay. I also can't wait to see more of Fennec, of course. She's great to see on screen. I really like what they're doing with her character, introducing her into some of these other parts of the Star Wars lore. So I hope to see her and a lot of other bounty hunters come around. And I think the last thing I really liked from this episode, of course, I have to speak about the Echo situation. That was hilarious, seeing him going around the market being sold off by Hunter, and of course seeing him get really upset when he gets lowballed for a price. Know your worth, Echo. That's what I'm talking about. Know your worth. But that's going to be it for me today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to this review of The Bad Batch. I will see you guys next week for episode 5. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below, or dislike if that's really how you feel. But I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.